and you are watching the 999 ASMR Tarot Show. And this is a note to the algorithm. This video is an ASMR sleep aid. The central focus is to paint this wooden figure the colors of the Marseille Tarot of the Hanged Man. To the viewer watching this on the playback, feel free to change the speed in order to facilitate an autonomous sensory meridian response reaction, or just to zone out and react. Relax. Please leave a comment with a time, place as to where such a response happened so that I can improve my techniques for the future. Thank you and enjoy the show. So we're going to be doing this from primary colors, with the exception of this non-primary color of Titan Buff. And as you can see, the only color we'll be mixing here is this light blue and the green. And I'm using this Titan Buff as the face color. So I'd like to go through the colors and what the colors mean. And we're going to be using this book here, Understanding the Marseille Tarot. This was published by Losgar Bayo. The colors do have specific meaning in the tarot, just as numbers do as well. So, for instance, flesh color means human beings and physical concrete reality. Yellow is vital energy or solar intelligence or divinity. Red is active, masculine. It is the color of blood, of passion, or action in the world. Blue is passive, receptive, feminine energy, connected to the sky and the depths of the sea. On the psychic level, it represents the spirit and thought. Green, nature and all that is in progress. Brown, matter, earth, solid ground, everything that is considered permanent. White is immobility, the action, absence of action, wisdom, purity, and infinite possibility. And black represents shadow, night, the end of things, but it also is what is used to define the outlines of the figures. So it encases things. So there you have that. That black is what shapes and defines reality. So, without much further ado, we will begin painting. Maybe we'll use this brush here. Oh, I better put my bookmark back. So, what am I going to use the most of? Blue, and so we'll start there with blue. Just put a little paint down here. Hands aren't as strong as they used to be. I drew a little card here right before I started, and it came up with this one, the Ten of Wands. So we're just going to be trudging up a hill today, carrying all that heavy load, but we'll get to the end and it'll be glorious. Blue. Should have cleaned that off first. Oh well. Get a little dust in there, will be fine. Yellow. Cadmium red. I'm not gonna add the black on there, but we're just gonna wet my brush down, getting all wet and bothered here. There they go. People don't like to stick around long here. Blue. It's funny that in the Marseille tarot that blue is a feminine color and yellow is, or red is, a masculine color. In our world, blue is a masculine color and pink is a feminine color. I kind of find that ironic. It is how much, time has changed things. If we think of like gender roles and whatnot, they're all just fluid to time. What we think is masculine may not be masculine in like 100 years from now. It's just the fluidity of life. Of course, the blue in the over there is a little bit, has more black in it. Maybe I'll add a second coat rather than just straight up primary cyan. Maybe a different brush. One with a little bit more surface area on it. To the person cruising the live channels, this has got to be the most boring show in the world. I say that every time, too. But it's probably true, don't you think? If you're looking for the complete package. Now, maybe I should just do this as, like, long play videos. And the reason I do it this way is because I need a computer. A few months ago, when I switched content to the autonomous sensory meridian response, I was editing my videos on my phone, but it's really tiring to do that. That's why I switched to a live show. And I just do a lot of setup work to the advanced preparation. I've got a little bit of blue on that bottom torso. I need to take that off somehow. Yeah, well, it's not going to be perfect. Blue, the color of feminine energy. The hangman is sort of related to the magician. The hangman has knowledge and is just hanging around. Special knowledge. But it's obviously with this figurine, this is all before any hanging happens. I think I want to do a second coat of the blue, and we're going to add a little bit of black to it. So I got this carbon black. I'll just do a tiny, teeny tiny drop of it. Don't want too much. There we go. That should be enough. But we might do, before we add some black to it, we might go and add some white and make it, and we still have some white left in this, so we'll use the white here. Add some white and we'll do the upper sleeves. Everything's turning green over here. So I'm going off the side, maybe making this a greeny color, kind of a really light blue. I, for the most part, prefer painting off of the primaries and mixing my own shades rather than buying pre-made colors, though I have done that too. So I'm guessing that with the color theory here, that the blue mixed with the white represents it's the feminine receptivity energy plus the immobility, because the hangman is just hanging around immobile, but he's not completely immobile because one leg is just hanging out free. But it could also signify that in this action there is a lot of wisdom and purity, since the white meat. So it's like a passive spirit of purity, or purity or psychic energy. This light blue is and so when you add a little bit of black to that blue in order to make it that color, that's adding something of the end of all things, some darkness to it. So that makes that's interesting. They do say that the Marseille tarot is easier to learn than the Rider-Waite. But I've been working on the Rider-Waite for, well, I'm now in my second year, so I'm not really a complete master of it yet, but it gets easier as time goes by. This guy's starting to get away from me. He's like Superman flying, huh? I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get super relaxed here. Kind of starting to go into like a zone out mode. Let's go now and mix in the black. Not quite the way that, there it is. Color looks a bit more like that. And so we'll take this primary cyan and do a second coat on here. It doesn't feel like I'm trudging up the hill like it is in this card here, but maybe it is that way. Maybe it's that way for you. Feel free to push the like button if you think that this is worth liking. One leg is darker than the other. Interesting. No, there's nobody here. Okay. Time to do the lower arms. While we're still in the... I still have some blue left. I wonder what his hands look like. Or maybe their hands are the color of flesh. He's got a green neck. Oh, got some green on the head. And green is the color of nature, of growing things. I need to put this over here, further away from me rather than closer to me. And his head is yellow, and yellow, which is the energy of the sun. That's the vital energy, or the energy of the sun. Solar intelligence, solar consciousness. Well, okay, let's just keep going. Not perfect. This is very awkward. So if I look at the magician, which I think I have a magician over here. Oh, no. It's the nude lady. now it just looks like sheet, right? Sheet. Looks like sheet. It's going to need another coat of green over here. This is not the easiest surface to paint on, actually. I probably should have sanded it a little bit to put a little teeth in it. Well, I didn't do that, so we did this. Maybe that's why it's this card. Kind of a trudgery here. A little trudgery. Okay. I might come back to the blue or the green. Stay. I'm just going to clean the brush off. I'm going to move to a different color. Yellow. His head is yellow. Solar, radiant, solar energy. The Marseille Tarot has its origins in the 1700s. Huh, I got some red in it. Look at that. It has some red in that yellow. I don't remember putting red in it, but interesting. But that just adds to thinking what it's being imbued with. So if we were to turn the hanger man upside down, we are looking at, maybe I should change brushes. Change to this brush over here. I'm going to clean these off here. Uh-oh. I don't want them falling down. Looks like a Lego action figure. I left that drying too long. Now this brush is getting all stiff. yellow. We're still on yellow. There's all these other colors in the yellow. A yellow torso. So this is going to be a total inexact science. It has a white belt, so I'm just going to go yellow all the way around the torso. Uh-oh. Don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. I'm thinking about that movie as good as it gets right now. And the guy's walking down the street and trying to avoid touching people. Udall. His last name was Udall. What was his first name? Mr. Udall. we'll just go back in later and put a white belt on them. Uh-oh. Okay. And clean the brush off. And go to the red. I want some candy. But I shouldn't have it. As a pre-diabetic, I shouldn't have it. I need to show more temperance in my life. Maybe tomorrow we'll do one right in the middle of the afternoon. What? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I know what we'll do. My, treasures from Israel. I tried it before. You know, you think of the strangest things in these meditative states. Oh no! Was I putting red on the hands? No. thinking about this janitorial job I had in my late 20s. It was a temp job at a insurance agency in McMinnville, and I was the only one there mopping all the floors. The bathrooms were gross. And started like at 6 o'clock in the evening and just worked until I was done. Usually it was someplace between 2 and 4 a.m. I don't know, should I leave that red on his hand there? Or should I try to wipe it off? Yeah, maybe, it might be kind of cool though. Well, I wasn't expecting this to take so long, but things always take longer than you expect. And red, as it said, was a masculine energy. Red is masculine and blue is feminine. The sky is a receptive energy. Water is receptive. Yeah, well, we can see water because water receives things. With the ground, things bounce off. I might have to do a second coat on this guy. So then we have red feet. Yeah. What if his hands are red too? Oh, I don't want to touch them. Touch the cards. I'll get paint on them. I'm going to skip the buttons and stuff. Oh, look, there's a white band right around there too. So I have 2 zones of white that I need to put on here. I think I might have missed a class reunion because I'm not on Facebook anymore. I think they would have given me a call. It's not like I would have had too far to go to the class reunion. I mean, I only live a couple miles away from where I went to high school at and grade school. In fact, all 12 years. Never thought I would move back home to where I grew up. I lived in Seattle for almost a decade, and I just absolutely fell in love with that place. Never wanted to leave. But I knew I would have to leave when my sister had that diagnosis, and then I knew that the responsibility of caring for the folks fell to me. Moved back this way in the end of 2011 to Oregon, and in June of 2012, which was not even a year later, I buried my father. If I sit and listen quietly, it's just silent, meditative silence. And I'm disrupting that silence by whispering right now. Clean my brush off, and then I'm going to paint the hands and the face. Maybe we'll pause here a little bit, and I'll do a reading from. No, let's go. Let's keep forging ahead. Oh, there we go. Screw, screw, screw. physical, concrete reality. Oh, interesting. Interesting. And if I remember from Gnostic, I'm going to have to get those tapes out. I wonder if I couldn't. I was thinking about that the other day. Those lectures from when I was in grad school. I have them all on tape. Cassette tapes. Dr. Irv Brindlinger was a brilliant lecturer. And I learned so much about church history from him. And things you never think about when you don't look into church history, history of eschatology, and that Christians, when Constantine converted to Christianity and made Christianity the official state religion, that it would have seemed like a miracle to those when all those persecutions stopped. It's just one of those things we just never think about. We like to think that now is the only time there is. Well, now is the only time there is. And while we're thinking that now, that everything is happening now, we completely forget about things that happened then, back then. Which is why I always figured the book of Revelations was stuff that happened in the past. Or I thought that the book of Revelations was something that was happening on a continual basis. But I completely agreed with Martin Luther that that book should never be in the canon. How much time people have wasted by trying to make their whole religion about the end times. Maybe Christianity is an end times religion, but I don't know. I feel like it's a now religion. It's a religion about how we treat each other right now, right in the here and now. Not concern ourselves with trying to force the world into some viewpoint in order to, so that we think that this Armageddon thing won't happen in our lifetime. Oh, I didn't put the lid on the white over here. Shoot. Read about the hanged man here. This is a great book. If you're into tarot, it was published by Los Garbero. So the hangman is related to the magician. At least that's what it said in this book. And so I'm going to read that. It's definitely springtime. All the blossoms and here we go. Elevation or sacrifice. In the Arcanum, a man hangs by 1 foot from a beam between 2 trees, whose 12 branches have been cut. His body and gaze face us, while the remaining free leg is folded behind the other. His hands are behind his back, while at the base of the trees there are 2 tufts of grass. Despite being upside down, the man is well dressed. His clothes appear neither crumpled nor upside down. The Arcanum indicates a moment of stasis, a phase in which one is doing nothing. It could suggest that we had to stop or wanted to stop, for example, to take care of ourselves or someone else. It is necessary to detach from a situation and give ourselves a pause for reflection. It could indicate our prosperity to sacrifice ourselves for the common good in order to not to renounce our principles. The man hanged by his feet, a situation in which he cannot or does not want to do anything, is forced by circumstance to look at the world upside down. This position reverses his point of view and perhaps allows him to observe a new or different things. Or it may suggest a tendency to sacrifice oneself excessively, risking to block ourselves, as in the case of the Savior syndrome or the Red Cross nurse. It can also indicate an inclination to victim complex or the inability to remain still because one is taken by too many activities. It encourages us to reflect on all the situations in which we chose not to act. reminding us that even not doing is still doing something. In some decks, coins are drawn falling from the pockets of the hangman, a warning to remind us that the choice to stay still also has a cost. Question: who tied him up? If we were free, what would he do? If he were free, what would he do? What does he see upside down? The key words here are sacrifice, expectation, surrender, spiritual elevation, reversal of perspective, victim complex. The symbols, the beam. It is the point of balance between two trunks that can indicate two opposing aspects of existence. The rope, it could represent a bond between the hanged man and reality, or perhaps what keeps him alive and ties him to people and things. The posture and appearances, he crossed his legs, and can indicate both a punishment and a voluntary sacrifice. They recall the cross, the emperor arcana number 4, the world arcanum number 21. The free leg seems to imply the possibility of going down. His appearance recalls that of the magician. The emblem of action moved to inactivity. He is the magician that is inactive. The magician in his inactive form. The cut branches symbolize the need to eliminate that which is useless, but they also refer to the symbology of 12, the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 labors of Hercules, and the 12 apostles of Jesus. This correspondent associates the hanged man to the sacrifice of Christ on the cross. Message of the hanged man: look at things from different points of view, and sometimes it is better not to act. So this is a book I recommend. Reading and understanding the Marseille Tarot, published by Lo Scarabeo. And that's the author's name. I can't say it right. So maybe this is dried enough that I can put the white bands on them. The magician is number 1. The hangman is number 12. I'm not even in camera here. This line looks like sheet. I'm gonna have to do this over again. the hanged man is the inactive magician. The magician, the manipulator of the world, or the manipulator of your life. The magician, the one who makes things happen. I don't want to get any more red in my white there. This isn't a commercial for Reese's peanut butter cups. Back when I was a kid, they were like, "Hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter. Hey, you got peanut butter in my chocolate." And then, "Oh, look, let's combine it together." That's how the original Reese's peanut butter cup commercials were back in the 70s. I was born in the late 60s. The 60s were a tumultuous time too, just like full of protests. Well, that looks. I'm gonna have to do another coat on this, but not tonight. Anyways, it does look like crap, but hour 9-10 minutes, and this is 999 ASMR Tarot. I'm William James, signing off. Painting the Hanged Man from primary colors. Hopefully, if you watch this on the playback, you are asleep right now. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now until the end of our journeys.